Welcome to the video series on economics. In this very first video, we will discuss what is economics. Before we talk about what the textbook defines as economics, what I'd like to do is quickly talk about economic principles, and then we'll talk about what the study plan and the textbook has. Well, first off, economics is about choices. If you don't remember anything else in this video series, remember that economics is about choices. It's how we choose to spend our scarce resources. So what's a scarce resource? Well, a scarce resource is anything in limited in supply that we value. So what's limited supply that I value? Very simple. I have two things, time and money. I value my time and I don't have enough of it. I also value my money and I seem to run out of it. I'm sure you can appreciate that as well. But those are the two main scarce resources that I think everybody has in common. We all have, even the wealthy, they seem to not have enough time or have enough money to do all the things that they've ever wanted to do in life. And because of that, because our resources of time and money are limited, you and I have to make choices. So again, it's about choices. Economics is about choices on how we spend scarce resources. All right, let me give you an example. The textbook talked about the saffron pizza, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of piggyback off of what they were talking about just to kind of reinforce the different economic principles. Let's say I go out to pizza with my friend Megan, and she's been reading about all this really cool Persian saffron. It's very expensive. It's about $1,000 per ounce, but her TikTok and her socials are all filled up with it. And she wants to go out and she wants to try this pizza too, right? So she calls around and she can't find anywhere or anyone in the greater Raleigh area that offers this saffron pizza. Why not? Why can't they meet her demand? Well, simply stated, it's because Megan is the only person right now asking for the saffron pizza. None of the places carry something so expensive. It's kind of odd. There isn't a high demand for this saffron pizza. Plus, not only is there not a high demand, but it's very expensive. So as a business, as a pizza place, as a pizza business, why would you offer something that's so limited? You wouldn't, right? And so these pizza businesses have choices to make. They can either offer something kind of odd and expensive and maybe not earn a profit, or what they can do is they can offer pizza that's low cost, high demand, and easy to manufacture. Well, guess what? There is a demand, a high demand for pizza. Think about this. Anytime you take an economics class, they're always going to talk about pizza. Why? Because you can't throw, a rock in any direction without hitting a pizza place. Think about all the different pizza places on all the different corners of streets that you drive through, right? You can't go 5 miles without hitting at least a dozen or two pizza joints. Why is that? Because it's in high demand. Right? If we didn't love our pizza in this country, well, then we wouldn't have so many pizza restaurants. And you'll notice they rarely go out of business. Very rare. When's the last time you saw a pizza place go out of business? I mean, it happens. There could be a different number of different reasons, but typically it's high demand, it's easy to make, and they make money. All right, getting back to these economic principles. So Megan's still obsessed with the saffron pizza. A couple of weeks go by and she's determined to find where she can get this. So she did find a place in Milan, Italy, where she can go ahead and get this pizza. It's about $800 a slice. And so she has some economic choices to make, right? Time and money. Now, including the airfare and the travel, it's going to cost her a lot of money, over $3,000 just so she can try the slice of pizza. So she has those choices to make, right? So in addition to costing all that money, it's also going to cost her her time. She has a full-time job. Well, she would need a full-time job just to afford that slice of pizza, right? So it's going to cost her time, the time it takes to plan the trip, the days off of work, and the travel time. So in addition to the money, there's that time. But wait, there's more. Let's talk about this thing called opportunity cost. All right, so in addition to just time and money, she's also giving up the opportunity to do other things, whether that's tennis lessons, playing golf, I don't know, whatever other hobbies she has. She's giving up those opportunities because she's traveling to Italy for this pizza. So that's something to think about. Anytime we choose to spend our money and our time on something, we are also giving up the opportunity to do other things. Many of us are in college or taking classes, and so you're choosing to spend your time watching this video, right? Well, there's opportunity cost. You're spending your time watching this video, but what you're doing is you're also giving up the opportunity to do other things instead of watching this video. Maybe you're giving up TikTok video instead. Hopefully you find this a little bit more interesting and learn a few things. I'm sure there's great TikTok videos on economics as well. All right, so obviously this is an extreme example, but at the end of the day, we have choices, and pizza restaurants and people like you and I make these choices every single day. I bet you didn't know you are an economist, right? So when you make choices and spend your time and your resources, you're making those choices every single day, and that makes you an economist. All right, so the one thing that economists don't do, though, is they don't judge. They're the one type of person that doesn't judge, because at the end of the day, the choices that Megan makes, or the choices that you make, or the choices that I make on how to spend my scarce resources, a true economist wouldn't judge, because those are the choices that are right for that person. So I believe the textbook gives an example where there's a family and their car is broken down, but instead of spending the money on a new car, they decide to go on a vacation. Now, some would judge that as a poor decision. However, an economist would say, listen, if that vacation is important to that family, then they're making those choices. We're not going to judge that decision. That's the right decision for that family. Now, others might disagree, but a true economist would say that that family is making the right choices for them. All right, so all of you use those economic principles every day in your life because you're making choices. You're choosing how to spend your time, and you're choosing how to spend your money. Attending college is another example of using economic principles, right? So every single one of you are making choices with your scarce resources. How you spend your time versus how you spend your money. You could be spending your money and your time on other things, but you're choosing to go to college instead. All right, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the textbook definitions of economics, scarcity, and opportunity cost. So we know that economics is the study, it's a social study, and it's the study of how humans make decisions in the face of scarcity. All right, scarcity, what is that? That's any sort of limited supply, whether it's time or money or labor or tools, raw materials, anything that exists in a limited supply, that is scarcity. We simply never have enough resources to meet all of our needs and wants. And businesses are the same. Businesses have a limited supply of money and time, limited supply of labor, employees, tools. And so they face scarcity as well. Now, we talked a little bit about opportunity. Again, anytime you make a decision of how you spend your scarce resources, you're giving up the option to do other things. Do I take the red door or the blue door? When you walk through the blue door, you're giving up the opportunity to walk through that red door. And so they use that term opportunity cost to indicate what must be given up to obtain something else. So every choice comes with a price. Now, there's two types of sub areas of economics. We have microeconomics and macroeconomics. So microeconomics covers topics related to individual people or businesses, kind of at the lower level. And macroeconomics examines the larger economy and broader issues like the GDP, inflation rates, global, things like that. So microeconomics and macroeconomics. All right, that sums it up for this very first video. Please reach out if you have any questions, and there should be a couple other videos after this one as well, talking about the different economic systems, supply and demand, how we evaluate the health of the economy, and the different stages of an economy. Thanks so much.